Hi, friends. My name is Pej with Pej Interventions. I'm an interventionist and a family recovery coach and an individual recovery coach for those that are ready for recovery. So recovery from what? From substance abuse, from alcohol, from drugs, from mental health even. Today, we're going to do a topic. I'm going to get right to the topic in a second. But if you like this channel, if you would be so kind as to subscribe to this channel, Pej Interventions, as well as share it, comment in the comment section. We would really be grateful to you for that. Now, today we're going to talk about parents that continue to play God. There are so many different family systems that I work with where it's really interesting to see how certain parents feel like they have to continue to be in control of their loved one who's struggling with addiction or with alcoholism. I work with many different types of families. There are people that are like a wife and a husband that are still together. Sometimes they're divorced. They've got a loved one who is an active addict, alcoholic, and sometimes has co-occurring disorders, some mental health too. And, often if the family can't be unified and the mom and the dad can't be unified, we have a problem. So what happens is the person that's in active addiction learns how to tap at the weaker link, the one who's going to cave, the one who's going to fold, the one who's going to give in. Sometimes they'll triangulate. They'll say certain things. They'll work against each other. We call that sometimes staff splitting in the professional arena. And then there's people who are on board that have done the work that they need to do on themselves. Sometimes they'll go to Al-Anon, Nar-Anon, CODA. CODA is Codependency Anonymous. Al-Anon is usually for people who have a qualifier that's an alcoholic, or Nar-Anon is for people that have a qualifier that's an addict. And the reason that they go to these 12-step groups is to be able to realize what they've done so far hasn't been working. So a lot of times they think that they can control them or be like a puppeteer and have their loved one listen to that. But when somebody's in active addiction, frothy emotional appeal does not work with them. You can't give them that soft talk and tell them, please, I understand. Well, who are these people you're hanging out with? Why are you doing this to yourself? Stuff doesn't work for a person that's in their addiction. A person that's in their addiction doesn't hear any of that. It's just all noise. All they really want from you is to be able to get what they need. And so when somebody that is a parent will continue to keep enabling and giving them what they want, you're basically putting fuel in the fire of their disease of addiction or their alcoholism. And you think that you're going to have this control or this power to be able to help them. And what you end up finding out later on is that you're absolutely powerless. So what happens here? A lot of times I see a lot of parents that will be told by their loved one, I promise I'm going to get sober. I just need some food. I just need to get a hotel room just for a couple of days before I go to treatment. Will you please help me, Mom? Will you please help me, Dad? I'm hungry. I don't have any food. Please, I'm so starving right now. And so a parent will think, oh my God, I can't let them starve out in the streets. I got to be able to help them because now they're promising me that they're going to get the help. And in reality, what's happening there is whatever money you're sending, yes, they might get the hotel room, but if they have extra money or they obtain money in other ways, they're going to use that hotel room possibly, perhaps, potentially as a place to be able to get high yet one more time. And these days, with the way that people are getting high, we don't know what's in the drugs. We don't know if it's the drug like fentanyl itself, where they're straight up doing it. They could die in that hotel room. So what I noticed also too is a lot of times there are parents that are couples that were once married, but now they're divorced and they're trying to help their loved one because they have, a kid that's pretty much not doing well. Sometimes it's the divorce that actually affects the kid that's made them go in a certain direction. And obviously there could be a number of other things like trauma and things like that, but there will be a weak link. Like let's say there's one parent that's totally strong, holding their boundaries, not enabling, but there's another parent that continues to keep enabling. And so the loved one is now realizing, oh, that's the weak link. I'm a mama's boy. I'm a daddy's girl. I just know if dad's not going to help me, mom will always soften up and give me everything that I need. And the problem with that is that, again, when I talk about triangulating, they'll be able to have certain conversations with that weak link as opposed to the parent that is very strong and standing up against their disease of addiction or against their alcoholism. So until families don't get unified, until they don't work alongside each other. I mean, I understand if obviously your marriage didn't work perhaps and you couldn't stay together, but just know what we're up against. The person who's your kid that's struggling and doesn't even know that they're struggling, is living a lifestyle that could be potentially life-threatening, could take their life. And I know that that becomes every parent's fear, but most parents, if not all, will eventually find out that they have no human power to be able to try to save their loved one. They need to get armed with the facts about themselves. They need to get educated. And one of the reasons that we do what we do, me, an interventionist, I'm also part of a team called Intervention on Call, is that we educate families on the do's and the don'ts and how to go about certain things, especially those that have tried countless times to be able to help their loved one and just are not seeing any results except for constant relapses, constant treatment stays, homelessness. A lot of people that I'm dealing with on a daily basis have gotten to a point in their life where they have created a boundary to a certain extent where they won't let their loved one live in their house anymore, but they still continue to stay in touch with them. And I'm not saying don't stay in touch with them, especially the ones that are in psychosis, running the streets, but it's about how to go about trying to help them without giving them too much to where you're sending the wrong message. See, a lot of times if a parent is still continuing to feed their loved one while they're out there, just know this. Any good addict that gets hungry, the same way they can obtain the drugs or alcohol, they can obtain food. If it comes down to panhandling, they'll do it, right? The same way that they will try to get money to be able to get their substances that they use. So when you're enabling them by giving them food or things like that, because you have you're trying to give them an incentive and you are building some sort of incentive within yourself to get them to get to the point where they need, as in getting the help, then you might be sending the wrong message by giving them money for food or having them come to your house to shower or continuing to pay for certain things that is enabling them and keeping them sick. If you are at your wit's end with your family member, if you have a loved one, you can always reach out to me. My number is 949-751-7761. I am an interventionist. My name is Pej. I'm out of California, but I do work nationally and globally. I help people all over with their addiction, both on a personal level with the addict or the alcoholic, but a lot with the families too. I talk with families on a daily basis. You can always get a hold of me. Also, I'm part of a group called Intervention on Call. You are free to come into our peer family support groups. It's 5 days a week. Just go to www.interventiononcall.com and sign up, and then you can get the free Zoom link for any one of those days. And then we also have individual coaching sessions, which cost, but that's on you if you want to sign up for those. Those are more specified to your needs. Thanks for listening today. And remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment in the comment section. We want to hear from you. Stop playing God.